This looks like a pretty big thing. Let's like climb up it. Whoa, okay. Almost fell in. Looks pretty scary. Doesn't look like there's a bottom to it. Well, wish me luck. Whee! Okay, so have you ever like just wanted, like let's say you're playing, okay, actually no, let's say you're scripting, okay, and you're in the workspace and it's like, OMG, there's all of these parts everywhere, okay? Like, let's just like move them about a little bit, okay? Like, imagine you're scripting and it's like, okay, wow, there are all these parts everywhere, okay? I wish I just had like a bottomless pit to throw them all in, because like, there's no way to remove them from the workspace, right? Like, if only there was like some magical way, like you could just click on each of these parts and then just like remove them in like a click of a button. Unfortunately, Roblox Studio has yet to add any sort of functionality for like the quick removal of parts, okay? But anyways, yeah, that kind of just had me thinking, what if, okay, when I'm scripting, I have all these parts and there's just no way to get rid of them? What if I were to make a bottomless pit, okay, that I could just throw all like my troubles and all my worries to like never even think about it again? Or even better yet, okay, let's say like you're playing a game, okay, and then there's some guy who's like modding or exploiting or like just doing stuff he shouldn't be. Let's say we have little old Rigby, okay, we'll call him Rigby because like he's gray and Rigby inside of regular show is brown. Actually no, let's make him brown so he's even more like Rigby, okay, cool. Let's say we have Rigby, okay? Let's say this guy, he's doing like inappropriate things he shouldn't be doing, okay? Wouldn't it be like so amazing if we just had like a bottomless pit that we could throw him inside of, like never even think about him again, okay? Like nobody's gonna miss him, maybe like there's that one person who will miss him because Rigby was like their best friend. Let's say like maybe Rigby got like a girlfriend in like the span of his like modding time, okay? Or whatever he was doing. Riget. Let's say like these guys, they got along like really well, like something like that, okay? But unfortunately for you, Rigby, you did something bad, okay? I'd say like you pushed in the lunch line, or you punched somebody in the face with like your little hand. Let's say like he got his arm, he raised it. Actually, yeah, let's say he got his arm and he raised it, and he was like ba 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 to like Riget, and unfortunately Riget like just had enough, okay? Or in fact, what if we would like reverse it, okay? Instead of like Rigby being in the wrong, let's say like actually, okay, Rigby was framed, okay, and all along it was Riget, okay? Let's say like all along it was Riget, okay, and like actually the whole time she was just like punching herself, okay, because she's like a bit crazy, like okay, and then poor Rigby was framed, okay, and like because like we don't tolerate any type of accusations around here, do we, Rigby? We do not tolerate any type of accusations. We need to punish her in like the best way possible. So like we throw her in the bottomless pit. But the thing is, there is no bottomless pit yet, okay? Rigby needs his justice and he needs it now, and like this is basically like the idea for today's video, okay? We need a bottomless pit just so like in case people do something wrong, in case people do something bad, in case we have like way too many parts clogging up the workspace, we have somewhere to put them, okay? So like without further ado, let's just like get straight into it, okay? But anyways, like what we need to do first is we need to actually like make the pit, okay? So what I'm thinking is we just get like a couple parts, rotate this like a little bit to the side, okay? Maybe I like duplicate it, move it to the left, rotate. By the way I'm like doing like all the hotkeys, like I'm rotating it without even like clicking anything. If you do like 1 2 3 4, you can see like it kind of correlates at the top, right? So select is 1, 2 is move, 3 is scale, 4 is rotate, 5 is transform. Transform is like all 4 in 1, but like I never use it. I don't think anybody ever like really uses it, okay? But anyways, yeah, what we'll do now is like we'll just duplicate this, rotate it, pull it back, do like a little bit of that, a little bit of that, a little bit of that. Okay, cool. And then we just need to like connect these two ends. So what I'll do is I'll just like grab a part, rotate it, pull it back, hold down shift a little bit, like tuck this part in, maybe like stretch it a bit this way. Okay, and cool. This is like our little like the entrance to the abyss, to like the bottomless pit, okay? Because remember, it's a pit, so it's just going to be like a hole in the ground, okay? And then what I'll do to like just make everything so much easier is that I'll like highlight everything, and what I'll do is I'll right click them all, go into solid modeling, and then union them, okay? And then what this does is it basically like turns like all of that into like one really big part. So like I can stretch this part out, I can stretch this part out, out and I can like stretch it out that way. I can even like raise it, which is probably what we're gonna do, okay? It's gonna be our bottomless pit, so it needs to be like, have a little bit of fall distance to it, okay? And cool, this is like basically what we have ended up with, okay? We have like a little unioned piece, like all these little parts joined together, okay? And now I'm able to like just scale it freely, move it freely, beep boop bap. Maybe we should make it like a bit wider, like in case we have any fat people we need to throw away. Okay, cool. And then what I'll do now is I'll just like rename the union to like bottomless pit. Okay, cool. So then that's like, this is basically like our little outline for our pit. But one thing I just quickly want to do is I just want to like customize it a little bit. So I'm thinking like we change the material to metal. Like, wow, look at this, beautiful. And I'm thinking we change the color to black. Oh, okay. Well, if I'm pretty sure it's because of the material. Like if it's a metal material, you can't like change the color on it. Yeah. Oh wait, never mind. Okay, it does work. That actually looks pretty epic. Okay, but it looks like a bit too dark though. So what I'll do is I'll just kind of like move this a little bit so it's like less shiny. Or maybe we should make it like, what should we make it? If you do green, it looks like a bit of a thing, but I want it to like have like that little bit of ominous glare to it. Okay, so we'll make it like a dark red. Okay, like this looks pretty. I wouldn't want to jump into this. And now like the last thing we need to do like in terms of design is we need to like make the bottomless pit effect. Okay, so like right now this is just kind of like a hole. It looks like kind of like what are those green things from Mario Kart? Like the green tubes? It looks kind of like that, but just red. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna add like a part inside of the bottom of it. Then what I'll do is I'll just like kind of like stretch it out so it like hits all of the little barriers. It covers the entire bottom completely. And what I'll do is I'll change the material to neon, and then I'll change the brick color to black. Sorry, my mic keeps like rotating for some reason. Hopefully there we go. I should have set it up properly now. And now it looks like sort of like a black hole at the bottom of it. But there's one more thing we can do, okay? What we're gonna do is we're gonna go over to model, we're gonna go to effect, and we're gonna use the smoke effect. Okay, this is really gonna give it like the effect of like the abyss, like a black hole. Okay, right now it looks pretty cool, but I want the smoke to be like a little bit black. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll just go to color and we'll just like do black. Okay, and then I'll increase the rise velocity to 5, and 5 basically means like how high up will the smoke reach. Okay, wow, that really does look like a bottomless pit now. Okay, maybe like I'll increase the size to like, maybe I'll double it to 2. Wow, that just looks pretty scary. And let's even like lower this a little bit, or in fact I don't even need to do that. I can just like increase the rise velocity like a bit more. We'll like make it 8. Yeah, that looks pretty scary. That looks like a suitable punishment for Riget. Okay, no accusations around here. Anyways, and then what I'll do like just to make sure it's all secure is I'll anchor all of it. Okay, so like it doesn't get blown away in the wind. Okay, anchor just basically means like these are now stuck together. They're glue. Nobody can move them, they can't move anybody. Okay, cool. And okay, let me like just quickly admit something to you. Okay, so we are making a bottomless pit, but the way it's gonna work is maybe not what you were thinking. Okay, let me just like scale this up a little bit. Yeah, that looks epic. Wow. Okay, but anyways, the way it's gonna work is probably not what you were probably thinking. You probably thought that, okay, well, we're gonna have a pit and then the player jumps in and then they're just gonna be like falling forever. Well, yes, but not really, because from what I know, there's not really any way to make that work. I know that there kind of is with like, what you can do is like, you can have sort of like so you know, like in some Roblox games, for example, let's say like you fall off the map somehow. Okay, let's say let's like use me. Okay, let's say we have me. Okay, let's say he's just like kind of stupid, he's not really paying attention, he falls off the map. Okay, I know like in some games they sort of have it where like you won't die if you fall off the map, they'll just like have you falling forever. But that's not really what I want to do. What I want it to do is I want it to like have the illusion that you're falling through like a black abyss. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll do this, we'll like make a little bit of like a coffin. The way I'm duplicating it, by the way, is if you do Control D, then it just like duplicates, and then the way I rotate it is by doing Control R. Okay, I'll do that, and I'll do this. I think it should be like a little bit bigger. Cool. And then let's like make a floor, and then let's make a ceiling. Perfect. Now we have like our little cylinder. But one thing real quick, what I'll do is I'll like union all the parts except for the ceiling. Okay, because we'll need the ceiling like in a very short moment. And then now because it's union, like if I want to increase the height, literally all I need to do is just like scale it upward. Okay, perfect. Is it like good enough size? Doesn't really matter. I can like make it like slightly bigger, and I can just rotate it. What I'll also do now is like I'll just make it all black. Okay, so we'll do like, we'll change this, whoopsie, what I'll do is I'll change all this to black. We'll go down into the union, we'll do use part color, and then we'll change the material to neon, okay? And then we'll do the same with this. We'll make the color black, and then we'll change the material to neon, okay? The reason why we do neon is because what neon does is like it intensifies the color of the part, so like it's shiny. So like, for example, if I have a part here, let's just say I make it neon. As you can see, like it has this bit of glow. Like the white is so accentuated and it's not even white, it's gray. So then when we make the part like black, it just like makes that black so much deeper, okay? That's why we did it over here for like the little pit, because like now it just looks like it's bottomless empty. It's calling your name, okay? We do the same over here because like now if you go inside of here, like my screen is like completely black, okay? So now let me like break down what we're gonna do, okay? We're gonna create the illusion of a bottomless pit when in reality they're sort of like just falling in motion. However, it'll still have like the same sounds like they're falling, stuff like that, okay? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna like put a touch detector inside of like the part that's at the bottom of the pit, okay? So what we'll do is like we'll set up a script so that we can see whenever this is touched, okay? We can see whenever the player touches the bottom of the part, the bottom of the tube, the bottom of the pit, okay? And then what we'll do is we'll take like their position and then we'll like move them inside of here, inside of like this little abyss like box, the abyss box, okay? That's actually a pretty cool name. Let me like name it that, abyss box. And then the reason why the ceiling is separate is because we need somewhere to like move them to. When we do like just abyss box, let's say we were to like position them to the abyss box, it's sort of like a bit confusing, like where specifically in here should I like move them to? Whereas with the ceiling, it's like, okay, move them to the position of the ceiling, but like -5 from the middle value, because the middle value controls height. As you can see, like if I move this up, the height increases. If I move this down, it like decreases, okay? So yeah, without further ado, let's just like get to scripting that. But actually, like one more thing, okay? I need to like set everything up just so like it's like just good, okay? So what I'll do is I'll set the can collide in here to false, okay? Because I don't know if you guys have ever like fallen onto something, okay? But for example, you can see that like when I fall, let me like turn on my volume, make sure you guys can hear it. You can see like it makes the sound that I've hit something, okay? Like that little sound. We don't want that. We want to create the illusion that the player is like still falling through. So if we set the part in like the little pit's can collide property, if we set that to false, and like it'll never like make that hit noise, because theoretically like they're still falling, okay? You can see like it didn't make the hit sound when I hit the part, it made it when I hit the base plate. So we'll even do that. We'll even set the base plate's can collide position to false, okay? But as like a little sort of precaution to that, because if the base plate's can collide property is false, like nothing can stay on it without being anchored, we'll have to just make sure everything else is anchored so it doesn't fall through the map. Done that off. Okay, cool. Now what? Yeah, time for the scripting, okay? So like I'll just open up a script in server script service, and then I'll like just establish some variables real quick. Okay, cool. So like these are the variables I have for now. Maybe I'll add more if I need to, but basically, right, whenever I refer to game get service players, I basically mean just like anything to do with the players. So I can see like if a player touches something, I can see like specific players, whether a player's joined, left, stuff like that, okay? Whenever I refer to local ceiling equals workspace.ceiling, I mean like the ceiling of the abyss box, okay? Cool. And then whenever I refer to like workspace, I mean abyss floor equals workspace.abyss floor, I mean like the floor of the pit, okay? As you can see, like I renamed it to abyss floor just for like ease of access, readability, okay? So then now what I'll do is I'll set up a script that runs whenever like the abyss floor gets touched. So we'll just do abyss floor.touch connect function, boom, boom, boom. And then now we need to like keep an eye out for when the player touches the floor, okay? Because right now this runs like code when it's touched, but right now we haven't even got any code, right? Like let me just script everything out and then I'll explain it afterwards, okay? Okay, so right now this is like all I have. So what we have is whatever touches abyss floor as our parameter, okay? And a parameter is basically like a variable, but the value it has right now is whatever touches abyss floor, okay? So with like parameters that are inside of the touched function, okay, they don't really have a value, they just kind of assume one unless you say otherwise. So me like saying otherwise would be like doing this, okay? Right now abyss floor is equal to players, but unless you like define it within like the little brackets here, it just assumes the variable to hold the value of whatever touches it, okay? So unless I do like this, for example, unless I make it equal to players, the game just assumes, okay, well, this is just going to be equal to whatever touches it, okay? And then here we do local player equals whatever touches abyss floor, okay? So this could range from like maybe like even the bottomless pit, for example, or maybe the base plate. We do that. So whatever touches abyss floor dot parent, and then we do dot humanoid. Actually, no, we need to do, yeah, so we need to do abyss floor dot find first child, which is a humanoid dot parent. Okay, so what it does is, okay, first thing it does is it finds the parent of whatever touches the abyss floor. Okay, so let's say the base plate is touching the abyss floor. Okay, what's the parent of the base plate? The workspace. Okay, so then right now player would be equal to workspace. Okay, and then what it'll then do is it'll try to find the first child, which is a humanoid. However, the workspace doesn't have a humanoid, but you know what does? I do. Okay, that was not supposed to happen. Anyways, I can explain with like Rigby, okay? That's actually perfect. I'm glad he's here, okay? So what it'll do is like whenever you load in, you're basically like a rig, okay? And then inside of your rig, you have a humanoid. This basically just has everything to do with like your health, stuff like that, name tag, stuff like that. So then what it'll do is, okay, let's say I touch it, okay? Let's say like my left foot touches it, okay? Or my left leg touches it, okay? What's the parent of my left leg? Like me, Rigby, for example. Okay, then what it'll try to do is it'll try to find the first child, which is a humanoid, okay? So then it'll find this, okay? And humanoids are exclusive to like rigs characters in the game, okay? And then we do dot parent, which basically like returns it back to me, okay? That's how we decipher whether a player has touched it or not. We find the parent, okay? And then we find if the parent has a humanoid. And then because then like anything that has a humanoid is a character, okay? Cool. And then we just like make player equal to the parent, because if it has a humanoid, then what's touching it is probably the player in the game, okay? And then we do if not player, then return end. So if anything other than a player touches the floor, then like do not continue past this line. Only continue past this line if a player is touching it, okay? And then like what's left to do? We need to teleport them from over here to like over here, okay? So then now what I'll do is I'll literally just do like player dot primary part dot c frame equals ceiling dot c frame plus vector3 dot new like 0 comma -5 comma 0. Or in fact, what I can do to like make this so much easier is I can just do local offset height equals boom. And then I can just like make this equal to offset height, okay? Wait, I need to do vector3 dot new. I almost didn't catch that. Okay, so like let me quickly explain what vector3 is. Vector3 is just 3 number values, okay? Wow, that's it. We have 0, -5, and 0, okay? So what we do here is we set the C frame of the player's primary part to the C frame of the ceiling, okay? And basically, C frame is just the position in the workspace, okay? And then the primary part of the player is like the part that like holds them all together. So like, where's Rigby? Did I kill Rigby? Oh, there he is. Okay, cool. Yeah, so like the primary part of the player is just like the part that holds them all together. And usually it's the humanoid root part. Yeah. Oh no, the primary part's the head. Never mind. Anyways, yeah, but it's kind of like the part of the player that holds them all together. So like from the head, it's connected the arms, the chest, the stomach, the legs, okay? So we're moving like the place of the head in the workspace, okay? And like if we move the place of the head, like the rest of the body follows, okay? So it goes like sort of like this. Like the rest of the body. I'm too lazy to like select each individual limb, okay? So like it'll just like all be dragged over to here, okay? And then we do offset to like offset the height. And then like, yeah, so player.primary part.c frame, so we move the position of the player to the position of the ceiling, okay, of like our little abyss box, okay? And then what we do is plus offset height, because right, if we were to like just move the player to like the C frame of the ceiling, it would like look like this. It's like they'd be spawned in the middle of it, okay? However, we do offset height, so we add -5 onto the like C frame of it. So like right now, as you can see, the position is like 17, but then if we do plus -5, -5 plus 17 is 12, okay? And then we do the middle value, because the middle value is what controls the height. So you can see that like as I move it down, the middle value changes, but then if I move it up, the middle value changes. That's why we also do 0 here and then 0 here, because we're not adding anything onto like the left value or the right value. We only want to change the middle value, okay? Cool. And then what we'll also just do, like just make sure, okay, we'll do player dot primary part dot anchored equals true. And then the reason why we set that to true is because if one part of the player is anchored, then the rest is, and that'll basically like just freeze them in place. That's what will keep the falling animation going, even if they're technically not falling, they're just stuck in place, okay? So then now, without further ado, And let me like hide this, okay? Because you wouldn't want like the player to be like, oh wait, it's not actually an abyss, it's actually just like a little bit of an illusion, okay? Cool. So then now, without further ado, let me like add like a bit of a ladder here too. So let me just do like truss part, boom, boom. Scale this down of like each one, please. And then what I'll do is, so like the player doesn't fall through the map when they spawn in, I'll add like a little bit of an invisible platform right here, okay? Because remember, the base plate has can collide set default, so like basically everything is just gonna fall through it. And I'll make it transparent so like nobody can tell, okay? And I'll make sure it's anchored so it doesn't fall through the map too. So then now, without further ado, let's like test it, okay? Let me get rid of you. Where's Rigby? Rigby died. Who cares? Without further ado, let's finally test it, okay? I forgot to anchor the truss. Okay, cool. Now, without further ado, if I load in and I try it. Also, like, just one last thing. Let me make sure, like, this is actually anchored, okay? And, like, let me make sure, like, it's fully under the map. Okay, cool. See, it's not anchored. I'm so glad I caught that. That would be so annoying if I didn't caught that. Definitely didn't like just not catch that at all and then just quickly came back to like act like I did catch it. Anyways, without further ado, let's like finally test this, okay? And then like just one last thing, guys. Like I'm just gonna scale this up like a tiny little bit, okay? Cool. Wow, that looks pretty ominous, okay? And then like without further ado, finally we will be able to test if it all works, okay? This looks like a pretty big thing. Let's like climb up it. Whoa, okay. Almost fell in. Looks pretty scary. Doesn't look like there's a bottom to it. Well, wish me luck, okay? Whee! Okay, I'm just kind of falling forever. But the trick is, okay, like you're not actually falling. You just got anchored in a box right beneath the spawn location. And then like if you look right here, you can see that he's just kind of like floating in space, okay? Awesome. But then if I go back, it just looks like, and I can't move because I'm anchored, remember? W's in the chat. Let me just like test it one more time to see if there's like any kinks I should iron out or something. So yeah, you jump in. I don't know. Maybe I should wait like a split second just so like just wait like 0.1. Actually, no. You know what I should do? I should lock the player into first person, okay? We're going to start a player. I'll make this like so quick because I'm about to wrap up the video anyway. Local script just means like it affects like individual players at a time. We'll do local player equals game, get service players, and then we'll do dot local player, okay? This basically means like each individual player that joins the game, and then we can just do player dot camera mode, and this just allows us to like change the camera mode to either first or first person equals enum dot camera mode. We do enum because camera mode, there's like a list of camera modes like classic or lock first person. So in order to access it, we do enum because enum means okay, out of the list of, and then out of the list of what? Out of the list of camera modes, and then we do like lock first person. Okay, cool. And then now we can see like what it'd be like if it was in first person. Okay, I can't zoom out. Okay, and I fell out the map. Give me a second, boys. Okay, I'm back. Whoa, it looks like way more cinematic. Okay, I climb up. Whoa. Okay. Whoa. Wish me luck. But in reality, you're just here, okay? You're actually just here the whole time. But by anchoring the player's primary part as they fall, it keeps the animation stuck, okay? Amazing. What a little cool illusion I've made. Anyways, yeah, that's about it for the video. So yeah, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to like show some love, hit the like bell, subscribe button. I feel like such a YouTuber when I say that. Leave a comment if you have any questions, and if you want the first link in the description, I want you to like go there right now. We have like a little Discord server you can join if you're interested. Join like the scripting community or something. Make some friends. Right now it's empty. There's only one other person in there, but he's like ignoring me and stuff. So like, I don't know, you'd have like unfiltered access to a scripter if you want to like ask them questions or something. But yeah, without further ado, I hope to see you in the next one. Mwah.